Hi, boys and girls. Good seeing you today. For reading today, we are going to be continuing our story, The Garden. We're going to start off with our words to know that we went over last time. It is important that you remember them this time because when I read the story, you're going to be helping me when we get to those yellow words when they're highlighted, okay? So let's go ahead and get started. They're going to be out of order this time, and they're just the words. There are word cards that we usually have in the classroom. Ready? First word is, say it with me, say it loudly. Next word is few. Next word is window. Next word is noise. Next word is night. Next word is world. Next word is story. Oops, let's put it in. Let's cover this one. And our next word is shall. So let me go ahead and try fitting these all in here. Ooh, not zoom in, but zoom out. And we're going to go over them one more time. I'm going to point and you are going to say ready and go. Loudly, few, window, noise, night, world, story, and shall. Okay, so these are really important to remember because when I'm reading the story, they're going to be highlighted in yellow, just like they are highlighted here, and you're going to be reading them for me, okay? Alrighty, so we are going to be reading the story, The Garden, today. Our focus, though, boys and girls, is called story structure. The story structure are the parts of how the story works together. So first we have our characters. Characters are our people or animals in the story, okay? And then we have the setting. That's where the story takes place, okay? So where are they at? Where are the characters at in the story? And we also have the plot. And the plot is the problem. And then how does that problem get solved? Okay, so we're going to be focusing on those three things today. You guys did a great job with the preview of the garden on Seesaw. Thank you guys for doing your plant life cycle. You guys labeled the plant life cycle and you guys also recorded your voices telling me each stage. So awesome job on that. Alrighty, so here we go. Let's go ahead and we're going to read a little bit about the author. Remember, these books aren't just written by anybody. They're written by certain people called authors. And this guy here, he's the author and the illustrator. So not only did he write the words, but he also drew the pictures here. Okay, so Arnold Lobel. Arnold Lobel started drawing when he was a child. When he grew up, he wrote and illustrated almost 100 books for children. His books won many awards. Frog and Toad have even been in the Broadway musical. A Broadway musical is like a show. So that's really, really cool. This story is called a fantasy. A fantasy is something that can't happen in real life. So for example, we have toads in this story, and these animals are talking and act like real people. Toads don't do that in real life. And so that's why it's called a fantasy, okay? It's make-believe. All right. So here we go. We're going to get right into the story of The Garden. I'm going to make it a little bit nice and bigger. All right. So The Garden, From Frog and Toad Together by Arnold Lobel. And the essential question is, what grows in a garden? And on our picture card last time, we saw that flowers grow. But let's see what Toad and Frog are planting in their garden. Frog was in his garden. Toad came walking by. "What a fine garden you have, Frog," he said. "Yes," said Frog, "it is very nice, but it's hard work." "I wish I had a garden," said Toad. "Here are some flower seeds. Plant them in the ground," said Frog, "and soon you will have a garden." "How soon?" asked Toad. "Quite soon," said Frog. Toad ran home. So there's Toad. He planted the flower seeds. "Now, seeds," said Toad, "start growing." Toad walked up and down you're right, few times. The seeds did not start to grow. Toad put his head close to the ground and said loudly, oh, your turn, loudly, Now seeds start growing. Toad looked at the ground again. The seeds did not start to grow. So there he is yelling at his seeds and they're not growing. Toad put his head very close to the ground and shouted, "Now seeds start growing!" Frog came running up the path. "What's with all this noise?" he asked. "My seeds will not grow," said Toad. "You are shouting too much," said Frog. "These poor seeds are afraid to grow." "My seeds are afraid to grow?" asked Toad. "Of course," said Frog. "Leave them alone for a few days. Let the sun shine on them. Let the rain fall on them. Soon your seeds will start to grow." That night, Toad looked out of his window. "Drat!" said Toad. "My seeds have not started to grow. They must be afraid of the dark." Toad went out to his garden with some candles. "I will read the seeds a story," said Toad. "Then they will not be afraid." Toad read a long story to his seeds. All the next day, Toad sang songs to his seeds, and all the next day, Toad read poems to his seeds, and all the next day, Toad played music for his seeds. Toad looked at the ground. The seeds still did not start to grow. "What shall I do?" cried Toad. "These must be the most frightened seeds in the whole world." Then Toad felt very tired and he fell asleep. "Toad, Toad, wake up," said Frog. "Look at your garden." Toad looked at his garden. Little green plants were coming out of the ground. "Oh, that is a sprout." "At last," shouted Toad, "my seeds have stopped being afraid to grow. And now you will have a nice garden too," said Frog. "Yes," said Toad, "but you were right, Frog. It is very hard work." Awesome job, boys and girls. So I'm going to turn you around and we are going to be filling out these boxes here. Alrighty, boys and girls, so here we are. This is our anchor chart for today. So we have our story structure, and then our title of the book is called The Garden. So first we have to think about who are the characters in the story, okay? So I want you to turn to somebody or just tell yourself in the next 5 seconds, who were the 2 characters in the story? Ready? You're correct. It was Toad and Frog. Those were the 2 characters. So here I'm going to write our 2 characters were Toad, Toad, and Frog. Yes. And I have to capitalize their first letters because they are proper nouns. They're names of the characters. All right, now let's think about our setting. Where was the story taking place? Ready? I'm going to give you 5 seconds to tell somebody next to you or tell yourself, where were Toad and Frog in the story? You're correct. They were in the garden, right? Just like our title. They were in the garden. just going to put the word garden. R. Oh, look at that. It has that R. A-R. Garden. They were in the garden. Very good. So they were in the garden. Now, this is the important part here. Our plot. So, one of our characters had a problem. Remember that. And the problem, I want you to think about, what was that character's problem? Okay? What was Toad's problem? Frog didn't have a problem. It was Toad that had the problem, correct? Toad had a problem. I want you to tell somebody next to you or tell yourself, what was Toad's problem? Yes, Toad's problem was that his seeds would not grow, right? His seeds would not grow. So I'm going to put here, Toad's and apostrophe S because it's the problem belongs to him. Toad's problem was at his E-double-E always says E. Seeds would, and so see that? Not grow, right? They would not grow. So now I want us to think, what was the solution? How did Toad try fixing his problem? He tried a lot of different things. I want you to tell somebody next to you or tell yourself, what did Toad do in order to fix that problem? You're right. Toad, he started taking care of his seeds. What did he do? He thought they were afraid of the dark, so he brought candles. He sang to them. Let me grab the book so we can look back at that. Ready? Let me grab that book. So we can find the place where it was showing us what was Toad doing in order to make his seeds grow, right? He was reading a story to his seeds, right? He thought that they were scared, but shouting didn't work, right? No, shouting didn't work. So he was reading a story to his seeds, he sang to his seeds, he read poems to his seeds, and he played music for his seeds. But really, what did Toad need to do? Toad really needed to just be patient. So the solution is that Toad, we're going to say Toad's solution. So remember, apostrophe S because it belongs to him. Toad's solution was to take care of his seeds and, most importantly, he just had to be what? Patient. All right, so there we go, boys and girls. We have filled out our story structure. So remember, the story structure consists of who are the characters, the different parts, the setting, and also the plot. What was the problem and what was the solution? So what your job is today, you are going to be getting onto Seesaw. And you're going to see, we usually do this in class, boys and girls, you're going to see that these cards are on your Seesaw. And it's going to be your job to put them in order, just like we do in class. So from beginning, middle, end to end. So first, then, next, last. I'm going to show you what that looks like. Alrighty. So here's what it looks like. My face is covered. But here you can listen to the story again if you click that link. Then you're going to open it up and it's going to look just like this. Your job is to drag these into the correct places. Then you're going to record your voice telling me the order of them all over again from beginning, middle to end. All right, friends, you did an awesome job today. I will see you next time.